Oh, hello there. You're probably wondering about stop motion. I guess that's kind of why you're here, isn't it? Well, let's talk about stop motion. Now, the best part about stop motion is that most of the time you get to play with toys. How fun is that? So, essentially, stop motion is about taking a bunch of single images and putting them all together to make a video. So what type of video would that be? Well, I'll post a few links in the description to show you some very good stop motion films. And there are even some in Hollywood, very big production films done entirely in stop motion. You'll notice a lot of them where the characters look like clay almost, or stuff like that, such as Nightmare Before Christmas would be a very good example of one. So how do you do stop motion? Well, essentially, you need a couple things. You need a camera, you need a computer, and you need an idea. If you have all three of those, oh, a fourth thing too, you need a lot of time. If you have all four of those, then you might be set for doing a stop motion film. So, the biggest thing about stop motion film is that you have to be patient. Stop motion is not a fast video. It's not a fast way to make video. It's actually a very slow way of making video. And it can wear on you. You can get really bored, but if you're the type of person who likes slow things like that, it's great for you. So essentially what you want to do, well, I'll talk to you a bit about video now. Essentially you're going to want the scene to not be distracting, such as having a big head in the scene. You don't want to have that. And you're probably going to want some characters and a scene, kind of. Here we have it like a little toy car driving through a house. Kind of like Toy Story, I guess, if you were to think of it that way. So here's the car, and you kind of think of it as kind of going like this. But, yeah. So, after that, just get up here. So, once you figure all that out, now you have to think about the technical, geeky stuff about stop motion. You have to figure out what frame rate do you want to have. Now, frame rates. What is a frame rate, or what is the frames per second, or FPS? FPS, frames per second, is essentially the amount of images that are projected into video per second. A lot of people may think that video is simply just like your eyes, where it all kind of happens instantly, and it's all fluid and, yeah. No, it's not. A video, all videos are essentially, in a very simplified term, stop motion. A video camera is basically a photo camera that takes photos at a very high speed per second to make a video. Now, how fast do they go? Well, in the United States, cameras generally go at about 30 frames per second. So, then it will look fluid, because your eyeball, it sends messages to the brain about 15 times per second. So, theoretically, your eyes see at about 15 times per second, according to Vsauce. Which, if you haven't heard of Vsauce, I really suggest going to his video, or his channel, right about here. But anyway, let's talk about some more photos, some more geeky stuff. So, how fast should your stop motion film be? Well, you can do it at 30 frames per second, but expect it to be incredibly hard to do. 30 frames per second, well, first of all, it'll be twice as fast as you would if you did it at 15 frames per second, which is what we usually do in stop motion. It'll also be twice as hard. You have to have twice the amount of little movements, and twice the amount of images. So we generally do it about 15 frames per second, because people generally can't notice the difference at 15 frames per second in video. So essentially, what you're going to do is, I'm sorry, my camera's a little dirty there. I'll be right back. Okay, I cleaned up the lens. So essentially, what you're going to want to do is have your subject in the camera scene, take a photo with your camera, like that, move it a tiny bit, move your hand out of the scene, and not have your body in the scene like I am. Take your photo, move the subject, not that much, move it tiny bits, about half. I suggest with a car like this, about half an inch each time, and take your photo each time. Take it, and you want to turn a bit, take it, turn a bit more, take it, turn a bit more, take it, turn a bit more. So essentially that's what you do. Now, it can be quite complicated when you have 10 subjects, 10 things, a scene, water, and a lot of other stuff. But for now, we're just going to show you how to do one subject, because when you first want to start, you generally want to do one subject. Now you can do it with tons of things. You can use cars, you can use putty. Putty is probably the most popular thing in stop motion. If you ever watched the film I was talking about before, such as Nighttime Before Christmas, they use clay and putty for that. It's a very good material to use. Sadly, I don't have any putty here, and I don't know where the hell to get it, so we're just using the toy car I got in a Happy Meal. So essentially, you generally want to use something that can be moved very easily, that's going to stay in place. This car is a great example for most of the time. Now, I'd almost always suggest, if you're going to do stop motion, to lock up the wheels so that they can't move around. So if you're on a ledge, you can't kind of go and fall off. That will make your life a lot easier, because once you screw that up, it's almost impossible to get it back right in the same precise position. So try your best, maybe if you use a toy car, to lock up the wheels. Maybe put a tiny bit of putty on the bottom of it if you're not on the carpet, because you don't want to put putty on the carpet. And then it'll be stuck in place. So, yeah, that's about it, really. You can do a ton of different subjects. You can do millions of things. I've seen people even use their hands before, do like this, but with taking pictures. I've seen people use tons and tons and tons of... Really, it doesn't really matter what you use, as long as it doesn't move around crazily. If it stays in place and you know it's not going to move around, it's a great idea to use that. Another thing I should point out to you is to use artificial light, because you can see through the window there, which is a bad thing. Generally speaking, you want to do it in a room that doesn't have any windows, that just has overhead lights. I'd almost suggest to try to get a few lamps in that room to use to project extra light in every position so that you don't get shadows. Because shadows, generally speaking, are not good in video or photography or anything really. So, yeah, you also want to find a good position for the camera. Generally speaking, you can get these really, really small tripods at dollar stores. They're about that high, and your camera goes right on them like that. And then those are really good for things. You can also use real tripods. You can use like everything kind of. There's a ton of things you can use. I've even seen people use clay and stuff to stick their camera to things and take photos. Now, cameras you can use. You can use video cameras. You can use webcams. You can use DSLRs. You can use point and shoots. You can use anything that really has a sensor on it that you can take photos with. I almost definitely suggest to use webcams, because webcams offer the most versatility. Because they're extra small. I'm using the webcam right now. You can point it really, really close in, although it won't focus that close. But you can put it right in there. It's not gonna be hard to put in little places. You can do stuff like that. Webcams are very versatile, and generally speaking, webcams come with software to take photos with, so that you can just instantly take a photo of your laptop here, which I have right there, and just instantly shoot some photos very fast. And because you're going to put them on a computer anyway when you're done, so that just might as well use a laptop or desktop in the first place. Laptops are a better option because you can move them around anywhere. Really, that's about it. So let's move on to seeing the end stop motion film I already created, and show you how to edit it. Okay. Hello guys. Let's look at our photos we took. And so I decided to personally put them in individual scenes into individual files, because each scene deserves its own little folder, so that way you can keep everything organized. This is important if you want to do anything else of the videos afterwards. It also makes Premiere Pro a little easier to deal with. Okay, so after doing that, look over every scene. If you're on Windows, you can use Windows Photo Viewer. This is available on Windows 7, Vista, and 8. And then you're going to use your arrow keys on your keyboard and just press press the right one, and you should play the video like that. And that will just make sure that it works, essentially. That's the whole point of that. Just do it for every scene you have to make sure there's no serious problems. So we're just, there it goes. Woo! He kind of does a little turn there. Now you see that how it distorts like that while playing. That's only because it's not designed really to do that. I just find that to be a good way to look at them. So it's not going to actually be that blurry while playing it. It's just how it is with this. So just do all of them here. Look at that disgusting keyboard. I really need to clean it. But yeah. And then let's just quickly look at all of them. Whoa. No. Okay, I didn't do anything good. And then here's me driving through. It's like you're in a car view, kind of. Okay, and then we'll look at scene 6, our final scene. And then we'll just go through. So he kind of crashes into that paper. Now you're looking at it a lot faster than it's going to be. Okay, so now it's like a Premiere Pro. Okay, so after clicking New Project, you're going to get this thing here. Just type in for project name something like Stop Motion Film, which will work. And then, don't worry, you're not going to get that. It's just that I already made a video of that same thing. Then you're going to click your resolution. Now you can click 30 frames per second if you want in here. It doesn't matter. You can leave your sequence name as sequence 1 because that doesn't quite matter for our purpose. But if you have multiple things, you can change that to whatever you want. And I just accidentally did that. Okay, so here we are. Just let it load, and then you're going to go over to this window here. You can double click it, or you can press Control-I, and then you're going to go to each of your scenes. So we're going to go to scene 1. We're going to go to image sequence. Make sure that one is selected, and then click Open, and then there it is. And then you're going to go here. You're going to go to speed and duration, and because it automatically went to 30 frames per second, you're going to want to type it in as 50%, and that should be good. So let's have a look at that in here. So we're going to change sequence settings there. That's okay. And we'll click OK. So that's kind of what it looks like, which is good. That's kind of what we want. Then we're going to double click again, and then we're going to go to our sequence number 2. Click on that. Click image sequence, and then there we go. And then you're going to put that in there. Oh wait, I almost forgot. You have to change the speed and duration for all of them to 50%. So basically, you just have to repeat that process for every single image. I'll be back after I put them all in there. Okay, so here's all of our videos put together. So let's see. And then there we go. And then, so that's our little video we made. It's only 8 seconds long, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of lame, I have to admit, but there we go. So once you put your film together like that, you can add effects if you want, but for this purpose, we're not going to. We're just going to go to our scene here, or our sequence, and we're going to press Control-M, hopefully. It's kind of hit or miss thing. Maybe that's different. I'm used to CS 5.5. It says Control-M. I'm not quite sure why that didn't work. Anyway, so after you're done that, make sure you click Entire Sequence, and then you're going to want to change the name. So you can call it, let's see here, Stop Motion. We're just going to call it Film. So there we go. And then you're going to click Save there, and then you're going to press Export. Now, I forgot to mention actually, for format you can change it to any format you want. We can change that to H.264 because I find H.264 to be one of the better outputs that you can use, or one of the better formats, I mean. And then you're going to go down to your resolution. For this purpose, we're going to go to 720 30 frames per second, or 29.97. And then once you're done that, you can click Export Video. and it should export it. As you can see, there it goes. Now, if you're finding that exporting your video is taking a very long time, you should watch my other video about how to make your GPU render it instead of your CPU in Premiere Pro. Anyway, so let's have a look at that video, and then let's call this video an end. So let's go down to videos here. We're going to go to Photonicals, which is my YouTube channel. We're going to go to stop motion. We're going to go into, I think, film. And then we're going to open it up. So here we go. And that's actually, should open out with a different thing than that. I personally like VLC a bit more than Windows Media Player. There we go. And then there it goes. I'm not great at this, but I'm not that bad, I don't think. So there we go. So that's a little video I made. Now, to give you an idea of how long stop motion takes, that took me about 15 or 20 minutes worth of work to actually only do that little 8-second clip. Anyway, I hope this helped you a little bit in stop motion. If it did, please press the like button, and comments are welcome. I like hearing questions, I like answering them. I also like hearing people giving me compliments or giving me some constructive criticism. Can't say that word, sorry. Criticism. Sorry guys. But I like hearing it all. If you have any suggestions for me to make my videos better, I will listen to them. But please do not be rude. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a great day.